Hey folks, Quill18 here, and we continue on our look at Europa Universalis 4's world. We're doing the Tour du Monde, and we are taking a break from our actual game and just exploring a few of the different nations. So we've done the Native Americans, we have done Japan and China. So we're going to move a little further west, and we will go into India here, and just to look at their national decisions mostly, and then we're going to hop right over into the Timurids and see what's what over there. So I have clicked on Bahmanis. I'm so bad at this. And we're going to dive right into there. So there are a lot of independent little nations in this little area of the world, and this is another good example of a cool little microcosm with a very localized diplomacy and warfare. You're going to be dealing exclusively with these nations, and I mean, you don't even know at this point that Europe exists. However, the difference between here and the Far East is there's a much greater chance of European powers coming in here and messing up your stuff at some point. Because that's kind of how things go. Apparently, what the heck's our state religion? We are Shiite. Oh, officially. And yet every single... Look at this. Our government religion is Shiite, but everywhere in here is Muslim. That is a really awkward situation. Wow. Whoops, that's a misclick. That is a really interesting situation. So, yeah, revolt's possible. It's actually all nationalist and some religious stuff. So there's all these like separate cores. Is that it? In this place, Armagod over here. Yeah. So, yeah, they consider themselves to be their own independent nation. So I'm not really good. I'm not very up on the history of these regions. You know, who conquered what and that sort of thing. You start with a leader? No, you don't even start with a leader. Whew, that is unfortunate. Let's take a quick look at what religious group we're in. Or the tech group. We're in the Indian group, so tech costs are 50% higher than normal. And again, we've got -1 power in every category, which kind of sucks. Our national ideas, the Indian Sultanate tradition, +5% infantry combat is pretty good. +50% religious unity. And later on, we can get some extra missionary strength. Now, our ideas, we can form Hindustan. Now, in Europe, most of the form blanks, right? Form Great Britain, form Russia, form Italy, that sort of thing, all require administrative tech 10 plus some cores. This does not actually require any sort of administrative tech at all, which is nice. You do have to have high stability, but that's okay. We can meet that pretty easily. But it needs a lot of cores, which is fine and fair. But you know, this means it's going to be a lot of work because these cores are all over the freaking place. So there's going to have to be a lot of conquest to get this pull off. But luckily, the fact that you do have the tech penalty, you're not going to be held back from forming Hindustan, which is nice. Is Hindustan right? Yeah, Hindustan. Anything else that kind of stands out? Introduce jizya, a per capita tax for non-Muslim. Oh, non-Muslim subjects. Yeah. So like, I remember reading about this like in all the Muslim nations for a long time. You know, and obviously there's always going to be religious differences, but for a long time it's like Christians and Jews and things like that they weren't illegal in these nations. They had to pay a special tax, but then other than that, they'd be okay. Denouncement of sect practices. Denounce all heretics. Reduces national revolt risk. Gain piety. It would happen until the death of... Is that my current ruler? Oh, it is too. What a long name. Establish an Ibadat Khana. We would need this if we had the knowledge transfer idea. Reduce revolt risk, more stability cost. I don't know, I guess it's good for the revolt risk, but kind of an interesting situation. Do we start with any CBs on anyone? Diplomacy. I can create vassals for my provinces from here. We do on more places that... I mean, I can't pronounce European countries, so I'm going to do infinitely worse over here. Oh, it's probably... Ah, here, okay. We've got a Reconquest CB over here, because they hold provinces that we have cores on. And over here as well, for the same reason. So we'd want to reconquer those cores. I don't know, like, relative to them, how strong we would be. This would be a good time for the Korean army for the nation. Surrounded by this many things, I think we would want to rush right away to our max force limit if we can. We are currently sitting at 5 of 13, so it would not take that many units to actually reach that 75% mark and complete that quest. Financially, I mean, we're not making huge money, but we're actually not in dire straits. So I believe this would be another really fun region to play, I think. Again, you know, localized diplomacy, and they are individually much smaller nations. You're not dealing with anyone gargantuan up until you start to butt into the Timurids, or if China managed to expand over here, if the Ming, for example, keep heading west, then you might run into some issues at that point. But it'll take some time before that happens. Now, speaking of the Timurids, we're going to drop to the main menu and take a look at them. We have the 25th most provinces. Go us! Actually, I have a good number of them over there. So, single player. And so, the Timurids, which have a heck of a lot of land. I mean, when you zoom out, it helps that they're red, but other than that, the Uzbeks might be slightly bigger, the Ming, maybe? But it's hard to meet. Now, I don't know exactly how many provinces they're made up of, but, you know, other than that, huge number. The difficulty rating on this nation is quite a bit lower because I think they're just like significant powerhouses. And we've got missions right away to conquer Delhi. We can either improve relations with Delhi or conquer it outright. Delhi actually starts in the middle of a rebellion, which is kind of unfortunate for them. Like, they've got some freedom fighters built in right there, which is kind of nuts. So those are the missions. We've also got the ability to, we've got lots of important decisions to make. We've also got some of the same Muslim ideas that we saw in our Bahmanis video. Well, it's the same video, but okay, that's the same. We can adopt a title. We have enough prestige and military skill. Wow, we need a ruler and military skill of 5, which is a lot. But gives us a lot of extra prestige and some piety, which is nice. So, we can form the Moghul Empire. Mughal Empire. To do that, we need to own and have cores on a few places. So where are some of these, just out of curiosity? Dundar. Oh, is it all to the east? Yeah, here. Presumably. I suppose I'm not going to sit and look for all of them. Where's Oud? Oh, yeah. Okay, so if we want to form this, we've got to head directly east from where we are, which is kind of interesting. We can also unite Islam, if we can pull that off by owning a lot of stuff. And I think this is west. Yeah, see, this is into Africa. Wow, so this would be like, what, all the Islam nations under the entire community of Muslim faithful under a single ruler. Wow, this would be fun! Holy cow, we lose a lot of power doing it, but our stability cost modifier until the end of the game goes to virtually nothing. Huge missionary strength, good tolerance to the true faith. We can also reform the government when our... oh, this just upgrades to a different government type if we get some ideas. Oh, it's just one of the following ideas. That's not so bad. I think I misread it earlier when I saw it. But the Timurids, very, very fun nation to play if you want to fiddle with the Muslim stuff. I mean, there's not a huge difference necessarily based on the religions. If you're playing as Catholic or Orthodox or Muslim or some of the others, most of the mechanics are pretty samey. It's an issue of like rebellions and this and that. But there are a few things here. For example, this piety meter, which the higher you have it, the more benefits you've got. Because of course there's no there is no pope to deal with. I don't think there's any reform desire. There's the religious unity thing, but other than that, yeah, there's not that sort of there's not going to be that reformation into the Protestant religion. So they've got a few different mechanics, but it's not... I'm not sure how much it changes the feel of the game internally so much as what your enemies are, but maybe it does, maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. That's the same, we've looked at that. The idea is, oh, what do we have built in? Timurid traditions, core creation cost 25% cheaper core creation. That is really nice. You are going to blob up like crazy. This is another nation I really feel like playing now. Huh. And someone did play the Timurids in our game as when we played the Paradox multiplayer event in Stockholm. In fact, I think Northern Line was the Timurids. I may be wrong, but I think that's who played it. I don't think he was the Ottomans. He might have been. Mamluks? He was something down here. I'm going to say he was either the Ottomans, the Mamluks, or the Timurids. One of those. And he probably had a blast. And the thing is, like, I was in Muscovy. We were technically not that far apart, whichever one of those that he was. I don't think he was the Ottomans. I think he was maybe the Mamluks or the Timurids. We weren't that far, and yet I don't think, like, anything we ever did. We never interacted directly. I think the most we ever may have done is affected what Johann was doing as the Uzbeks, for example. But there we go. I think that's the extent of what I want to look at for the Timurids over here. How much? They start with pretty serious bank. Mostly from production, taxation, a little bit of trade. They don't currently have a big military. You'd want to build that up right away. Wow, they actually have 2 accepted cultures already. That's really interesting. Their king starts off pretty sucky. Oh, and his heir sucks as well. Oh, his heir is 50? Really? Or is that... No, it's... Wow. Okay, that is the one disadvantage starting with these guys. They're Steppe Nomads as well. Yeah, Steppe Nomads are interesting. They get constant CBs on all their neighbors. And they fight better on plains, apparently. But what else do they get? 100% national manpower, 100% land force limit modifier, and huge penalty to their relationship over time. So these guys are going to be constantly at war because they've got the free CBs, right? So again, I'll keep doing this wrong. I'm going to go here. Yeah, look at myself. I've got CBs on everyone nearby. I've got Reconquest and lots of tribal conquest and lots of tribal feuds with everyone. So like we're, you know, that sort of tribal horde-ish kind of mechanic. So you got to go to war constantly because people are going to hate you no matter what anyway. So, and you've got all the free CBs, so you may as well go absolutely freaking nuts. You've got to be prepared because just, yeah, people are going to hate you. But you're in a much stronger position than most of them at the start of the game. So, good fun. I'm pretty sure someone like the Uzbeks, yeah, see, they've got a Khanate as well. Same modifiers there, right? So you're just playing as a horde. Are the Mamluks a horde? No. No, they're different. So, I don't know. Great times. Oh, man, I'm going to have to try so many different things. Anyway, that is it for this video. At this point, I believe we're not quite going to go into Europe proper. We're going to check out the nation that straddles the 2 worlds. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.